going on, guys? Welcome to welcome to another stream. Hope you guys are doing good. We're gonna do some more Python today. If you're interested in this, there's a link in the description. I'll paste it in the chat now. It's a free 7-day trial. What's up, dude? How's it going? Here's the link. Link's also in the description, but if you're interested, that's the link. It supports the channel. Divine Words, what's up? What's going on, my dudes? I'll just wait it out for a second. It's the wrong channel. Wrong channel. Not this channel. You're coding Java right now? Sweet, dude. Let's do it. Stream for about an hour. What's going on? It's not playing, right? Well, I mean, I gotta wait a second here. I'm about to play the video, but let's just chill out for a second. And then, then we'll be good to go. Let some people get in here. All that stuff. Gotta link this to the Discord real quick. Good guy Greg, what's up, dude? You were here this morning. Python's back and Josh is done. No, wait. I think we're missing the wrong person for that. Python is back. Josh is done. Did it again. Can you guys see this okay? I'll just wait a second until people show up here. Again, if you want to support the channel, the link is there in the description. Seriously, it helps more than you think. Smash the like button, that would be grateful. So we're doing web scraping again. Let's just go ahead and start. We got 18 people. If you guys got questions, let me know. If you guys can feel free to AMA while I do this. I'll try to multitask. It's a terrible idea, but I'm going to do my best.
As Sir Francis Bacon stated, knowledge is power. Having the knowledge and skills needed to do web scraping is a powerful tool. There is another saying that many attribute, ironically enough, to the Spider-Man comics. With great power comes great responsibility. Some of the responsibility that is incumbent upon us as web scraping developers is to know and follow applicable laws. This will vary from country to country, and much of the law around digital content ownership is continuously being tested in courts. As a disclaimer here, I'm not an attorney, so don't take the following as legal advice. With that in mind, however, there are some specific areas of the law we should be aware of, at a high level, to make us better citizens and keep us out of trouble. Some examples of laws to consider are, in the United States, there are 3 main legal claims that can be made against web scraping. Copyright infringement, the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act, which prohibits accessing a computer without, or in excess of, authorization. Originally designed to protect financial and government computers, there have been instances where other computers, and even cell phones, have fallen under the CFAA's protection due to the nature of today's device communication. Trespass to chattels, which basically means interfering with another person's lawful possession of movable personal property. In the European Union, there are copyright laws to consider as well, such as Directive 96/9/EC, commonly known as the Database Directive. In Australia, the Spam Act of 2003 prohibits certain forms of web scraping. If you decide to produce a web scraping utility, especially one for profit, keep these things in mind. Again, if you find yourself in a legally ambiguous web scraping project, consult with an attorney who specializes in this area.
You guys know why they had to make this video, right? You guys know why they had to make this video. It's because someone did not keep these things in mind at all. Someone done did something that wasn't. It was legally ambiguous. A little vague there. Today I learned.
How can we protect ourselves and still utilize web scraping tools? Many sites include a robots.txt file where limits can be set as to where bots can go. This robots.txt file is a standardized file which follows the robots exclusion standard. As you might be able to imagine, this can become a bit legally muddy. A site stating that a human can access certain parts, but a computer can't, gets a bit tricky from a legal standpoint. Similarly, sites may have a posted terms of service that state which part of the site, if any, data can be collected from, or how their data needs to be attributed. There have been many interesting legal cases around web scraping. I've included some links in the teacher's notes about a few. Okay, we've seen the power of scraping a basic website with Beautiful Soup, and now have briefly discussed some of our responsibilities of having these new powers. In the next stage, let's take a look at extending our data wrangling skills beyond a single page and start crawling the web.
We're about to crawl the web, my dudes. We're about to web crawl. We're Spider-Man up in here. What? I have a quiz on legal stuff? All right. You guys ready to go back to school? Let's go. Who should you contact? Sure. Some are faster than others and some are messy. Sure. Can data scraping be defined? Nope. I messed up. Why is there a cowboy who speaks really fast? He's on that uptick speed. I listen to books all day really fast, so. Blank is a Python package. All right, beautiful soup, obviously. Got my answer right there. Please fill in the correct answer, each blank. Many sites use, what was it? He literally just said, I think it was robot. What? Better luck next time. Skip the quiz.
We've seen how we can scrape data from a single page and isolate all of the links on that page. We can utilize that to start moving off a single page and onto multiple pages, or crawling the web. The internet constitutes over 4.5 billion pages connected together with hyperlinks. Web crawling is, for our purposes, the practice of moving between these connected web pages and crawling along the paths of hyperlinks. This is where the power of automation comes into play. We can write our application to look at a page, scrape the data, then follow the links, if any, on that page, and scrape the next page, and so on. Most web pages have both internal and external links on them. Before we saddle up again and get going in our code, let's think about web crawling at a high level. We need to scrape a given page and generate a list of links to follow. It's often a good idea to determine if a link is internal or external and keep track of them separately. We'll go through the list of links and separate them into internal and external lists. We'll check to see if we already have the link recorded, and if so, it will be ignored. If we don't have a record of seeing a particular link, we'll add it to our list. We'll also be looking at how to leverage the power of regular expressions to account for things like URLs. If you need a refresher on regular expressions in Python, I know I occasionally do, check the teacher's notes to get a quick refresher. When we last look at scraper.py, we're getting all of the links from our Horselands main page. Let's see how we can round up these links and put them to use. Looking at the output from our previous run of scraper.py, we're getting this internal link here for mustang.html, and then all of these external links. We can separate those out and follow them. First, let's make a new file.
Time to make a new file, my dudes. New file.py. Okay. Welcome. Test. Okay. So regular expressions are going to be fun. Are you trying to learn Python in the 7-day free trial? No, I actually have Treehouse, so this is the real deal. However, if you'd like to follow along, please use the link below. All right, let me continue. Play, please. Why you no play?
Be a new Python file. Let's call it soup follow scraper. I told you I'm bad at naming things. I can minimize this, and we'll bring in our imports. We need from URL lib, request, we want URL open. From BS4, import beautiful soup. And we'll be using regular expressions, so let's import RE to take care of that. Let's make an internal links function that will take a link URL. Internal links. We'll need to open our URL, so we'll define our HTML, URL open. Inside here, we'll pass in the start of the URL and format it with the internal URL we scrape from the page. So our URL, in our case, Treehouse projects.github.io, Horseland, and a string formatter. We'll format it with the link URL. Next, we create our beautiful soup object.
This is hard to go really fast. Refresh your browser if your sound's messed up. It wasn't the sound, it just wouldn't play. So HTML open, all right, internal links, link URL, all right. So I have to paste Horseland. Do I already have that? I think I already have that. Looks like I do. Oh, so we want to scrape all of the links. All right. Grab that bad boy. And then we want some curly braces. Roderick. How you guys doing tonight? You guys doing good? Dot format. Ooh, I remember this. And then we give link URL. Right? What? Why do I need an extra one of these? That doesn't make sense. Oh, I done messed up. Why wouldn't we put that on the same line? That's super confusing. All right, whatever. I'll deal with it. Do you get certs or anything for doing Treehouse? I mean, you get some certifications. They have a tech degree program, which is like a project-based learning program, and like a person reviews all your projects, gives you feedback. They're really tough projects. You can go look at them. Maybe we'll look at them in a bit. I should try that out eventually. Let's see.
Soup is beautiful soup. Pass in our HTML, and we'll use the same HTML parser we've been using, html.parser. And we want to return the link of the soup object. Soup.find, and we want the anchor links. We'll look for the anchor tags and use the href attribute of the find method with a regular expression to just get the links that, in our case, end in .html. So inside here, recompile, our pattern is .html. Let's put it to use. So if under name.
All right, this just got a lot harder real fast. Recompile. Okay, so a lot of these methods and stuff, like this compile method, for example, I don't specifically know about. I'm assuming this comes with the regular expressions import that we did. You posted the Discord, no longer want to be a lurker. Dude, Steven, welcome aboard. Glad to have you. Hope you're having a good night. I don't really know what's going on. I'm just kind of following instructions. But that's okay. All right, let me try and figure out what's going on. So we got our HTML, URL open, Treehouse projects. Okay, so we're going here. We're going to an ambiguous endpoint, it looks like. And we're going to format linked URL. We're doing an HTML parser. Apparently that's just a thing that you can do. href, not hred. Dude, got me. Thanks. Thanks for looking out, fam. What else? I think that's it, right? So now we're doing an if statement. What? Is that a thing? Okay, I don't know what that does, but I'll take it. You're learning with Treehouse, you're 100% happy? Dude, that's awesome.
Equals dunder main. We want our URLs to be internal links, and we will pass in our starting URL to the internal links method. In our case, it's index.html, and we'll do a while loop. So while the length of our URLs is greater than 0, we want to capture the URL href. Now we can do a lot of processing here, but for now, let's just print out the page information.
All right, hold on. What am I doing wrong? Checking the wrong. I was trying to assign instead of check. All right, what's the length of the URL? Is more than 0. Page. So when I'm making stuff from scratch like this, I don't always know what I'm doing. I just kind of follow along, and then when I get to the endpoint, I try to figure out what's going on. That's kind of how I learn.
We get print page, and then we'll add a little bit of formatting. A couple new lines in there. And then we'll call our internal links method again for the next link. Internal links and page. Let's run it and see it in action. Well, there we have it. It's doing what we asked, but it's in an infinite loop. Index.html is finding the link to Mustang.html, which is finding the link back to index.html, which is, well, you get the point. Let's add in a list to keep track of our pages.
All right, let me figure out what's going on. I'm playing this on like super fast speed, so it's kind of difficult for me to keep up, you know? All right. Internal links. What up? By the way, if you guys are interested, is this about web scraping? It sure is. Thanks, Ricardo. Got me, fam. It's been a long day, but things are going good. Thanks for calling that out. All right, adders, blah, blah, blah. All right.
call it site links. And then we'll adjust our while loop. So if page, not in site links, and then we'll add the pages to our list. Site links, pen page, indent all that, give us some more space. So otherwise, we'll just break. And let's run it again. Page is not defined. Pull that out. Started my if statement too soon.
All right. Tried to escape with Python, but you gave up quickly. Yeah, I mean, this is the first time I'm doing it. I don't really know what I'm doing, right? I'm just kind of following along. I'll figure it out as I go, just as anything in programming. It's programming in real life. Or me at my job in real life. Hey, can you do this thing? Maybe. Let me figure it out. Give me some time.
There we go. And we get the links that we're expecting. External links are handled in a similar fashion. You define the base URL path, and then, with regex, define the pattern you're looking for and follow the links. I'll saddle you with the responsibility to give it a try and post your solution in the community. Don't worry, I'm sure you can rein it in.
Joke's on you, Ken. I have no idea how to do that. All right, let's run this. What? Boy, infinite loop. Oh, I didn't add a break. What did he add there?
And then, your solution in the community.
Where's his break? Else break. Yeah, okay. What did I do here? How's that unexpected? New phone. Okay, sure. What's going on here? What am I doing here? Unexpected token. Literally what he has.
Pull that out. Started my if statement too soon. There we go. And we get the links that we're expecting.
Do we? Do we now? Alright, so I got my ifs. Oh. Python got me with those indentations, you know? Alright, let's try it again. Okay, let's figure out what's happening here. We got HTML, right? URL open. We're going to a URL with a random endpoint. We're going to format that with HTML parser, I guess. So we're giving Beautiful Soup this URL. And then we're also giving it HTML part. This must be like a keyword for Beautiful Soup. Then we're returning soup.find any anchor tags with a .html on it, I guess. And then, all right, so we have this if statement here. If name equals main. Why would that, what? What is name? Where's this coming from? I don't really know what the purpose of doing this is. You think you understand some of this, Cameron? More than me, my friend. A lot of this is using the library, Beautiful Soup, so let's keep moving forward. I don't really know what I'm doing, but there's not a lot I can do about it.
External links are handled in a similar fashion, e.g. The script we built to read the horse website is a basic web crawling bot to scrape data from a site. Python has a great module available which provides a more full-featured way to quickly extract data you need from websites. With Scrapy, we write the rules regarding the data we want extracted and let it do the rest. Let's get Scrapy installed and then set up our first Spider project. Let's look at the Scrapy installation guide. We see that it will run on Python 2.7 and 3.4 and higher, and can be installed using Conda or from PyPy with pip. Let's add this package to our project in PyCharm. We want Scrapy and install the package. If you find there are issues with your installation, check the platform-specific installation notes in the Scrapy documentation for additional information. Once it's finished installing, you can come out of here, go to a terminal window. Let's create a new spider.
New phone, please hold. Bat Dogon. Yeah, dude, this is my job, right? This is what I do, so I should always be here. Alright, so I don't have PyCharm, so is it done? Is it still loading? What's going on here? Yeah, Adam, so I don't know what all of that means. When you call the HTE file, I have no idea. I was really excited to see Venom, and then I looked at the reviews. It was like 30% on Rotten Tomatoes. Failed. Building the wheel for Twisted. Alright. Failed to build. Perfect. Adam, it's still... Yeah, dude, I don't know what you're saying, Adam. I have actually no idea if any of that worked. I can tell. Did I get like... I don't have Microsoft C++ build tools apparently. Awesome. That is awesome. Well, let me just continue on.
We'll call it Arania Spider. Arania is one of Charlotte's children's names in the classic children's book, Charlotte's Web. It's also the genus name of one of my personal favorite spiders, the orb weaver. So if we do Scrapy, start project Arania Spider, it creates our spider for us. Running this command handles creating the directory structure and setup for a Scrapy project. Let's see what Scrapy has provided for us. We'll minimize this. So here under our folder, there's a Scrapy.c.
This is the same tutorial. Just go see Venom. Yeah, dude, I'll probably go see it anyways. Alright, so apparently I can't install Scrapy. Pip install Scrapy. Please work. Why doesn't it like this? I don't understand. Failed to build Twisted. Alright, so maybe I need to run... Maybe I need to run like a Anaconda or something. Yeah, I don't think this is gonna work. Well, I mean, I guess we can Google it, right? Failed to build Twisted. Pip doesn't install Twisted on Windows. RIP. Okay. So according to the Google results, they show that we need to do this line of code here. For Windows, you gotta do it here. So that's what we're gonna do. See if that works. Stack Overflow says that it's not very good with Windows. Oh, I see some progress bars. I'll take it. Please build. Running setup. Oh my goodness. Failed building wheel for Twisted. Time to Google that. You guys know what's going on here? How do I install a WHL file? What does that mean? All right, well, it's looking like we're gonna go explore some other things in Python. RIP. Let's take a look at some tracks, see what's going on. We'll just do something else, no big deal. I have Anaconda installed, but it's not set up to do this, so I don't want to do that on stream. What should we do? Maybe Django. Django could be good. Hit up some Django. Scraping. So this is what we were doing here. Lack of a Mac. Nah, not enough motivation for me to swap. I can just use Anaconda. But, like, you can't do... I do a lot more than just stuff you need a Mac for. Alright. Where we at? Yeah, rest in peace, Scrapy. Mr. Clipper. Says you need Microsoft Visual C++. Yeah, so I have to download that here, which it's like a 7 gigabyte package. So that'd be fun for the stream. Said no one ever. So let's not do that. Let's do Python. I just want to find Django, please. Django? Django. You built the Twitter clone, basically. That sounds pretty good. Let's do that. Where do I find it? Am I missing Python? Oh, okay. That must be the worst when you're on the other end. What do you do that can't be done on a Mac? I play games. I video edit. Basically, I have a lot more horsepower on a Windows. I can do emulation, so it's not impossible. Like, Windows has, like, these little gotchas where you have to, like, set stuff up, but it's not enough to make me want to switch. Because Mac hardware is just inferior, and that's just fact. And it's more expensive. So you're paying more expensive, a higher fee for less power. And I'll deal with these bugs. as the trade-off for that. I don't mind. Couldn't you just make an HTTP call directly, then use beautiful soup? Dude, I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe. You're the pro. You tell me. Let's see. Where is Django? There's got to be a Django track here. Video editing using Final Cut Pro is a beast, but using Premiere Pro, it's the same. And if you're a professional, you use Premiere Pro. But mainly, it's just, you know, the horsepower of a Windows machine is just superior for the price. Django, where you at, fam? Maybe Flask. Let's do Flask. Alright, I know HTML and CSS. I know wait. HTTP basics. I know Git. Databases in Python. Nope, never done that. So it looks like we could probably skip a few of these things. Let's look at what HTTP basics is. I'm going to mute.
Hi, I'm Chris, and I'm a teacher here at Treehouse. If you're here taking courses at Treehouse, chances are that eventually you'll want to make something. And that thing, whether it's an iOS app, Android app, or web app with Java, Ruby, PHP, Node.js, Python, or what have you, this app will likely involve some sort of internet connection. Maybe you're making a website for your family's new cured meat business, and you want to establish a web presence by communicating to potential customers in your region. Or maybe...
Is this just like how to make a website?
Now, you might be asking yourself, why do we need a set of rules for two devices to talk to each other? In 1989, what soon followed was the first published version of HTTP. This was HTTP. So that we can get the most basic, no-frills look at HTTP, we'll use some text-based interactions. HTTP is a plain text protocol, which means that messages sent using HTTP are directly readable, kind of like a text file on your computer. A great piece of software to use for this purpose is called telnet. Telnet is a little piece of software that's designed for connecting to and communicating with a remote device. With telnet, you aren't limited to communicating using HTTP, but that's what we're going to focus on here. Let's get started. You can install telnet on your local machine if you like, and there's plenty of instruction out there to get you going. Check the teacher's notes for more. Fortunately, you also have telnet available to you in workspaces. So, even though I'll be demonstrating work in my terminal, you'll be able to do the same using the console in the workspace that's linked to this video. We'll be connecting with a web server at httpben.org using telnet. httpben.org is a service specifically designed for testing HTTP requests and seeing the resulting responses. To connect with this server using telnet, I'll start by issuing the telnet command, followed by the name of the host that we want to connect to, httpben.org, followed by the port number. This 80 is for port 80 and indicates a specific type of communication that will happen with the device we're connecting to. In our case, the type of communication that will be happening is HTTP messaging. Think of it this way. The host or domain name of httpben.org resides at some address, which is the address of a specific device or server. Think of the server as a house, and its address is called the Internet Protocol, or IP address. Now, once we've arrived at the house, let's say that there are several people living there, and each one speaks a different language. We only speak one language, HTTP that is, so we'll knock on the web server's door, which is door or port 80 by default. As long as there's somebody in port 80, that is, there's a web server at this address,
Bro, I'm actually learning, okay? Like, I'm not even mad at this right now. This is kind of fun.
we know that the person who opens the door also speaks our language, which again is HTTP. Great, so I'll hit enter to connect, and then I'll send a request to get the root using HTTP protocol version 1.1, and follow it quickly with the host again. And I'll hit enter twice. A couple things here. I have to specify the host again because it turns out that at this address of where we connected, there might be several hosts. For example, GoDaddy is a web host that will put many domains or hosts onto a single IP. Listing the host again in the HTTP request that's sent allows the server to route it to the proper place within the server. Another thing, I said you'll have to quickly follow up with the host. I say quickly because while using telnet, your request may time out. There's nothing about HTTP that requires quickness. That's just part of telnet. Now, let me scroll up to where I made this request and explain what I did. I made a request to get or fetch the content that is at the root. That's why I'm using the single slash here. And the protocol version I'm using of HTTP is version 1.1. This entire line here is called the request line, which we'll discuss more in just a bit. Making this whole request is like navigating to httpben.org in your browser. The response I got here is HTML, as you see down below. And the only difference is that when a browser sees HTML, it's rendered by what's called the browser's layout engine. But here in Terminal, there's no layout engine. In other words,
Today I learned layout engine. That's what Google Chrome uses to render our stuff. I didn't know it had a name, but today we learned, fam.
the browser knows how to read HTML and make it look presentable, and the terminal, well, the terminal is text-based, so it just spits out the raw HTML. Let's scroll down and make another request to this server, this time requesting a different resource. So, to reconnect to the server, I will telnet again to http://bin.org at port 80, and this time I will request the resource at /xml, again using HTTP version 1.1, and I'll list again the host. Press enter twice, and there's our response. Let's go back to this request line here. I'm requesting the resource at /xml. You may have used this slash notation to refer to directories in the past, and this is sometimes the case when communicating with web servers. But a slash doesn't always refer to a directory, so be careful here. For now, simply think of it as a resource at the address /xml.
All right, guys, let's bust out our hacking. You guys ready to hack? Here we go. I'm ready. How do I get telnet? Windows. Have to install and enable. Ugh. All right. Everyone's giving me shit for for having Windows. All right, here we go. Not trying to be snarky at all, but how is this useful? We're just learning. Permission denied. Okay. All right, that worked. It might not be useful like in the modern age, but like that's the only thing with Windows. Like if you want to do a new framework or a new library or a new anything in Windows, you have to remember how to do it for Windows specific. But if you're not swapping around all the time, it's not so bad. You have a Mac and Windows. You guys are OP. Oh, enable. Okay, so now we have to enable it. Let's see what happens. We're learning how to hack. Copy. Paste. Whoa. Guys, we're in. We're in Google. What is this used for? I think we're just understanding like how requests are processed on a very, very basic level besides like Ajax. So we could like look, if we look at this, we can see that he's doing like very, very basic Ajax request, a GET request, but he's using XML there instead of JSON. So this is like super, super old school request and getting data. I don't think you really need to know this because it's like, it's not used, right? We're advanced, we're past this. But it's still useful to know like these fundamentals of like, have you ever wondered like, well, who made that? How did that work? Well, this is what we need to know. I don't know. I think it's kind of interesting. I've never done this. Apparently, we're stuck in Google now. Okay, so we made the connection there. That was good. We got a 400 bad requests. So maybe it just timed out. Oh, that was kind of cool though, I guess. All right, let's continue enabling it through the command line. All right. I got a copy. What? Elevated permissions. Use an elevate. Oh, okay. All right, let's try it again. There we go. You have been hacked. Are we good now? I think we're good. Okay. Command line, blah, blah. All right, I think we're good. Let's come in here and let's try this bad boy. Can you guys see this? This is tiny, right? I don't know how to... I have no idea how to clear the PowerShell. Ooh, that didn't sound good. All right, so what do we do here? Let's back up. Back up. What did he do? Where's the part where he types?
So to reconnect to the server, I will telnet again to http://bin.org at port 80.
Let's do that. Telnet, HTTP bin. This must be like the OG request. Huh. I don't know if this is working or not. Is it working? Connection to host lost. All right. Oh, you have to press enter twice, right? $80. Enter again, enter again, enter again, and a few more times. Nope. All right, so that doesn't work. Maybe what do we do here? What do we do? What do we do? Let's end the process, maybe? Select. I'm selecting. I can see some stuff changing. Like, we're getting connected. Bad request. Server cowboy. What? What?
And this time I will
I'm just gonna
request the
follow.
resource at /XML, again using HTTP version 1.1, and I'll list again the host.
Hold on, hold on. Maybe if we try that, that will work. And then if I do git, can I still type in here? Nope, no typing. All right, scratch that. Oh, not working. Okay. Rip. Make a request. Well, that's what we're learning how to do.
Press enter twice, and there's our response. Let's go back to this request line here. I'm requesting the resource at /XML. You may have used this slash notation to refer to directories in the past, and this is sometimes the case when communicating with web servers. But a slash doesn't always refer to a directory, so be careful here. For now, simply think of it as a resource at the address /XML on the host http://bin.org. This resource identifier has a name, and it's called, quite intuitively, a Uniform Resource Identifier, abbreviated URI. It's not quite the same thing as a URL, which is a Uniform Resource Locator. We'll return to the similarities and differences later on. Now, in this case, the response that came back is XML, which stands for Extensible Markup Language, instead of the response we got previously, which was HTML, or Hypertext Markup Language. http://bin.org has several different resources that it exposes for you to test different things, and this is one of them. We can test HTML responses, and we can test XML responses, among others. Now, we can't just make any request to the server and expect a great response. Let's scroll down and try another. Let me clear the console here to give myself a clean screen.
Okay.
Let's again telnet to http://bin.org at port 80, and let's get the resource at /treehouse using HTTP version 1.1 and again specifying the host. I'm going to hit enter twice, and it doesn't take much scanning through the response to see that the server is telling us that there is no resource that has the identifier /treehouse. And you've probably seen this 404 not found message before. Before we bring this video to a close, let me quickly show you how to do this in Workspaces. If you open the linked workspace, you'll see a completely empty project. You won't need to add any files to the project, but you will need to use the console here. If you don't see the console, simply choose View, Show Console. When the console is hidden, this option right here will say Show Console. Click it, and it'll come right up for you.
All right, so this whole time I could have just been using Workspace. Fantastic. All right, we're doing Workspaces. Now, oh boy. Daniel, what's up, dude? You can't code along while learning on Treehouse. You end up paying too much attention to the code, not the teacher. It's all good. View, hide console. All right, so we're in the console. Let's move that up. See if we can telnet into this. Telnet. http://bin.org 80. What up? All right. So now we can do all his Git stuff. What was it? Git. What was it? I don't remember. I don't remember the process here. Back up. We got to do git slash treehouse http 1.1 success, maybe. Oh no, because I'm connecting. I'm connecting to the wrong one. How do I clear this? Oh no. Infinite loop. Okay. All right, I'm relaunching. I feel like I'm just fumbling around here. All right, let's try it one more time. Does this look correct? Are you guys seeing anything here? I feel like I'm doing everything. Unless this is like not an actual terminal. I don't know. It's just sitting here. All right. Well, let's see where he was going with this. Getting ahead of ourselves.
.org.
Oh wait, he just did it. Okay. You hear my doggo? I think there's a cat over there. He doesn't like it. He's not a fan. Host.
At the host, http://bin.org. And there it is. For any of the work I do in the terminal, you'll be able to do the same in workspaces, so the choice is yours.
What did I do wrong? What did I do wrong here? What did I do wrong? That's literally what he typed.
Now that you've seen a few sample HTTP requests using telnet, I'd like to show you the overall format of an HTTP request, as stated in the specifications, which I've linked to in the teacher's notes. Here's how an
So you said don't skip around, right? Just watch it step by step, don't skip around. That's not how you learn, fam. Like, I don't remember if I do it that way. I have to, like, jump in head first and try to break stuff to figure out what I'm doing. And then I go back, figure out what I did wrong. That's how I learn. I can't just go from, like, follow every step. I just jump in, break stuff, figure out how it works.
HTTP request needs to look. HTTP requests begin with a request line. This starts with what's called the request method, get or post. Know that there are other request methods available in HTTP. They're outside the scope of this course, but I've linked to them in case you're curious. In general, the get request method is used when you want to view a resource on the server without making any changes, and post requests are used for actually making a change or update to the listed resource. We'll look at post requests later in the course. Speaking of the resource, that's what's listed next, the URI, or again, Uniform Resource Identifier. If you want to view the root, or what's typically the homepage, you'll use a single slash here. Finally, HTTP is listed as the protocol in use, followed by a slash, and ending with the version of HTTP, currently 1.1. As a side note and heads up, HTTP 2 is on the way. Don't worry though, HTTP 2 won't change any of the stuff we're discussing in this course, and you'll be able to continue using HTTP 1.1 likely for many years to come. For more info on HTTP 2, check the teacher's notes. The next line begins with what's called the header section of the request. This communicates information related to the request being made and can include all sorts of info. In this example, you see it includes the host, which we've discussed, the user agent, which identifies the exact device making the request, I've listed telnet here, and accept language, which tells the server which language we prefer for the response. There are lots of other headers available, and we'll see a bunch more throughout the rest of the course. Following the headers is a blank line, then concluding the request is the request body, or what's frequently called the payload. If the headers refer to the information related to the request, the payload refers to the data being transferred in the request, if any. As we'll see, data needs to be transferred when the purpose of the request is to change a resource on the server. For example, consider the scenario of using a form to edit the first.
So you guys are having issues. So Zach, you're having an issue. Same thing in the workspace. Okay, makes sense. You might need a couple blank lines. I think the only thing I did differently here was not include a space. So if I do this, no. What was it? Git slash XML. Was it? I don't know. It was git slash, yeah, HTTP slash 1.1. And then host space, and then it was HTTP bin. It just sits. That's what he did. It actually timed out. Okay. Maybe it's just not hosted anymore. I'll make a note of that. I'll let him know.
Name of a contact saved in your address book online. When you submit those changes, a post request is sent containing the new first name in the payload. In general, the exact changes to be made on the server will be contained in the payload of the post request. You won't see a payload in the GET request. And there you have it, the format for any HTTP request. With that said, let's turn to the other side of this web conversation, the response.
I forgot the .org. I mean, I did forget the .org, but it still didn't do anything. I did it the first time. Yours didn't work either? Okay. So I'm not the only one. I feel like I'm going crazy. Which of the following is not part of the header section? User agent, content type, maybe user agent. RIP. Oh, I have to take it again. Really? I'm just clicking on stuff. Alright, I've literally clicked on every single one of these now. Is it host team Treehouse? Is that what we're doing? Is it the GET request?
You've already seen some HTTP responses, but let me pull one up just to refresh. So I'll telnet to http bin.org at port 80, and I'll get the resource at /XML using HTTP version 1.1 at the host http bin.org.
All right, let's do this like line by line. Here we go. We're zooming in. Can you guys see this? We're gonna zoom in here. We want to do telnet http bin.org. Correct. All right, now we want to do git XML http 1.1 with a host space http bin.org. Yeah, just chilling. This is the same thing. Okay, so I'm not crazy. So I wonder what would happen if I did it like in PowerShell on Windows, if it did work. Like, would it do anything? Like, what would happen? Oh, hey, Josh coming in with the solution. Yeah, he pressed it again. Okay. Okay, well, it worked. Neat. Dogs, what are you doing there? Your doggos? Holy moly. Okay, so apparently works. Congrats on the vids today. On my side, got to do some IPFS JS work and found out about. Oh, nice, dude. That's sick. Sweet. So it gets closed if you don't do anything with it. All right.
So
we're not crazy.
Upon making
It
this
is
request,
working.
what comes up soon thereafter is the response. This HTTP response is formatted in mostly the same way, so let's check it out.
All right, I want you guys to do me a favor. Close your eyes, listen to this video, and tell me it doesn't sound like Vsauce. Hey guys, Michael here. Vsauce. I can't, like that's what I see in my head.
The first line is the status line, which starts exactly the way the request line ended, with HTTP/ then the version number, currently 1.1. Then comes the response code, then a space, then the status message. We could spend an entire course talking about response codes and messages, but this is not that course. Some that you should be familiar with are 200 level codes, which in general are success messages, particularly the response code 200, which is a message meaning OK. Another you've seen is 404, which has the message not found. Other 400 level codes in general refer to something that went wrong in the client's request. You also may see a response code in the 300s, which indicates that the resource requested may have moved. But in any case, the rest of the response contains instructions about where to go next, that is, where to redirect. Finally, there are 500 level error codes, which is used for indicating that something went wrong on the server while processing the request. Remember, a 500 level code means that something went wrong on the server. Moving on. Following the status line is a section of headers. This section is formatted in the same way as request headers, with a header name, then a colon, and a space, followed by the value for that header. These headers communicate information about the response, metadata, so to speak. In our example, the headers include the type of server handling the request, Nginx in this case, the exact date and time the response was sent, and the type of content that's included in the body below, in this case XML. When the response includes HTML, you'll see a content type of text/HTML. Following the list of headers is a blank line, and then comes the response body, which is also called the payload. In this case, we made a request to the XML resource, so the response body or payload is the actual XML that comes back. If we had requested HTML, the payload would contain the HTML that comes back. Now that you've seen the general format of HTTP...
Actually, we did all the Ajax stuff and all that stuff in boot camp, but I'm actually learning a lot. I know what the headers are for. I know that there's metadata, but I didn't know that it had a specific pattern and a breakdown. I know 200's good, 404 not found, 500 server error, but it's good to see this broken down as a fundamental level. I think this is pretty important. I'm actually really digging this course. I mean, it's pretty short, right? And we're still going to do Python eventually, but it's good to know how this is working. Well, I mean, I hope you guys are getting something out of it, because I am.
There's one point I'd like to drive home in this request-response cycle of an HTTP conversation, and that is that HTTP itself is what's called a stateless protocol. Stateless means that there's no record of previous interactions, and each interaction is processed with only the information that comes with that particular interaction. Put in a different way, that means that there is nothing inherent to HTTP that allows it to remember a previous request and use it to inform a later one. When a web application appears as if it remembers a previous request, like remembering your username when you return to Facebook, this is a feature that's part of an application that uses HTTP, but not part of HTTP itself. HTTP messages are like self-destructing notes that disappear after they're read. Okay, you get it. HTTP is stateless.
All right, let's put in the work. Please fill in the correct answer. The status code, wait, what? The response status code of HTTP response below is, I mean, how do I know? Is this success? I assume it is, not modified. It's 304. Right? Yeah. Did he mention anything about 304?
Now that we've seen some basic GET requests and subsequent responses, let's check out how to send data with an HTTP request.
You guys are mean.
So far, we've simply made requests to view certain resources, and these requests haven't required us to supply additional data related to the actual resource requested. Even more, we have yet to send a POST request, which is used to modify the resource requested according to the data included in the request body. Let's take a peek at both of those scenarios now. In the first scenario, we'll consider using a GET request to supply additional data related to the resource we're requesting. Let's continue using httpben.org for our examples. In a GET request, you can pass data to the server via the URI in the request line. Let me show you an example. I will telnet to httpben.org using port 80, and I will make a GET request to the resource name /get, and let me throw some data in here and explain to you in a moment what I am doing. Let me hit enter twice. Great. Scroll up to my initial request.
I feel like if there's one piece of feedback that needs to be added to these videos is hit enter twice. like he says it like hit enter twice, but that's like the detrimental thing to this video. Like if you don't do it, we all got bamboozled by it. Like I feel like that should be a note, like a little pop-up. Please hit enter or it won't show.
Now,
Maybe I'm
in
just
this
bad.
example, I'm requesting the resource at /get, passing a first name and a language in the form of a query string. A query string is simply a sequence of name-value pairs where the names and values are separated by an equal sign here and here, and the pairs are separated by ampersands. So we have one ampersand between the two name-value pairs. When using a query string in a URI, you start it with a single question mark. When I make this request, I can see that the server was able to read the data I passed and use it to put together a response. If I scroll down, I see there is the first name that I passed and there is the language that I passed. In this case, HTTP bin gave me a response in JSON format. JSON stands for JavaScript Object Notation and is a widely used data format used frequently in web applications because, well, JavaScript can directly read the data. This kind of data transmission in a GET request only helps the server put together an accurate response. It should not actually change anything on the server related to the resource. I can demonstrate this again by making a new request. Let me clear my screen. I'll telnet to httpbin.org at port 80. And let me pass it some different data. /get is the resource that I'm requesting, and I'll pass it a company and a city. HTTP version 1.1, and the host is, again, httpbin.org. And there I see the company that I sent in the request, as well as the city that I sent in the request. One other thing worth pointing out here is the content length header in the response. Whenever there is data in a response body, a content length header will be present, indicating the length or the size of the response in bytes. What this means in our case is that the size of the response body is 217 bytes. Using GetRequest to send data is often used in a web form to search a website. You can simulate this in your browser by typing things like stackoverflow.com/search?q equals HTTP or google.com/maps?q equals Chicago. Those Q parameters in the query string are passed in a GET request to Stack Overflow and Google Maps respectively. The resulting pages show the results of your search. The key here is that in a GET request, additional data related to your requested resource is passed as a query string in the URI.
Let's continue on here. All right, what do we got? Get books, type. All right, so we want to say yep, and then we want to be like type and Kindle and I think, right? Type Kindle is the type Kindle. Get books type. Oh, maybe that. What am I doing wrong? So where exactly does the data come from? The data comes from the database on the server. The database is just listening. Do it again. I tried that. And sort popular. That doesn't make sense, right? So is the books question mark type equal to Kindle and sort popular? What? I mean, maybe. Blockchain, if you're right, I'm banning you. Blockchain, you're banned. That's it. GG. I quit. No. Okay, that makes sense. I was just trying to do it phonetically in my head.
Using the query string in a URI to pass additional data with a GET request is a nice way to fine-tune your request and the subsequent response. For example, a server can make sure that a request to the /search resource is fully accommodated by reading the query string parameter you passed, which would probably contain your search string, say the string Chicago. In putting together its response, the server would include only search results related to Chicago. This is a nice feature of HTTP, but its use is limited to the fetching of results. That is, these GET requests are essentially read-only. But what if we want to update a resource to incorporate the data that we pass it? This requires a different kind of request, a POST request. As you recall, in contrast to a GET request, the purpose of a POST request is to make a change on the server. Maybe update a database record, upload a new file to the server, or possibly delete data from the server. In short, POST requests lead to a change on the server, and in particular, a change to the resource listed in the URI of the request. Recall the scenario mentioned in a previous video where you might be editing a contact's first name using an HTML form. A server receiving this request should update the contact's associated record in the database with the new first name provided. I want to be clear that we won't be looking at how to actually change the resource requested. That's up to the developer of the web application that lives on the server and captures your request. We'll focus here on just the request itself and how it's formatted in HTTP. Let's have a look. In a POST request, additional considerations need to be made. Remember in our HTTP responses, we saw a content length header? As a reminder, this specified the number of bytes included in the response body. Now it turns out that in POST request, we'll be transmitting data in the request body or payload and not in the URI like we did in the GET request, which means we'll need to include a content length header in our request to indicate the number of bytes we're transmitting. For purposes of this demo, I'll simply count the number of characters that I'm using in the data and use that as the number of bytes for the content length. I tell you in the teacher's notes why this works for the demo, so here we go. We'll telnet to http://ben.org and issue a POST request using HTTP version 1.1. Again, the host is http://ben.org, and the content length header, I'll specify 32 bytes because I'll be passing 32 characters. Make sure to leave a blank line in between the content length header and the request body or payload. Let me just pass a couple pieces of information here. I'll pass my first name, and I'll pass a language. Now, I'm sending a POST request to the /post resource here because I know that http://ben.org is expecting a POST request at this resource. Usually, the name of the resource won't be POST. Okay, let's make this request. I'll press enter there. Now, I can see that the server received my request and read my data because that data was used in the response that was sent back right here. First name equals Chris and language equals English. Cool stuff. Now, let me show you an example of what might happen if you miscalculate the number of bytes in the request. Let me clear my screen. And I will again telnet to http://ben.org and make a POST request. This time indicating the content length header as 30 bytes instead of the 32 that I will pass it. I'll pass it the same data that I did last time. Now, when I hit enter, the response I get is actually not okay. The status listed is 400 bad request. Remember, the 400 level codes indicate an error in the client's HTTP request. In this case, it happened because I sent more data, 32 bytes of data, than what I indicated in the content length header, which was 30 bytes. Now you've seen two ways to send data to the resource listed in the URI you've requested. With a GET request, you'll send the data in query string format by appending it to the URI, starting with a question mark. These GET requests are meant to be read-only in that they make no changes to the server and only return existing data. We also saw how to send data with a POST request. For this, we drop the data into the request body in query string format, after the blank line that follows the headers. Speaking of which, we need to add a content length header that indicates exactly how many bytes are included in our POST data. And remember, POST requests are intended to modify the resource requested. All that said, I'm exhausted. When it comes down to it, navigating the web and sending data using our manual method is time-consuming, error-prone, and just plain boring. Wouldn't it be nice if there were a GUI for HTTP? During the remaining part of this course, we'll look at how a web browser gives the everyday web surfer the ability to communicate with HTTP without ever having to look at the protocol itself.
Well, let's keep going. Let's just knock this out, and then I'm gonna go eat some dinner because I have to do some other stuff. I have to make another video. I'm thinking about making a video where I like answer viewer questions because people send me emails, right? And it'd be cool to like. I mean, it'd be cool to respond. Like, I do respond via email, but it'd be cool to, like, make a video response to some of these questions. I think that'd be, I mean, I get kind of redundant questions, but what do you guys think? I'm sure you guys have similar questions. I mean, if you do, right, you can email me. I'll make a video on it, just 4 or 5 minute video. Might help someone out, maybe. That's the whole point. Content length. What is this? Post register. So am I supposed to like count these characters here? So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 characters. What is it? Your face looks bored. I mean, it's not interactive, right? I have to watch this part. It's just me thinking. Like, I think a lot. Oh, what am I talking about? Ugh. I didn't see that text at the bottom, right here. Content length. No. You counted 32? Nope. Treehouse got us counting. Alright, let's paste this to bytes. We're not the only ones stuck on this, guys. Number of characters in the body of the message. The values in the header are not counted. Just the characters in the main portion of the message after the header. Okay, so we have Sarah and Sarah at Tmail. 30. What? So we got 4, 5, 9 plus 4. Okay, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Is it 23? Everyone says 30. Today on Josh's stream, we learned to count. All right. Oh my God. Guys, I think we all need to go back to school here. Oh, we're doing another one. I think we'll just pause it here, and I'm gonna turn on my light. We'll just hang out for a minute, and then I gotta head out, make some food. You know. All right. You're lost. It's all right. We made it. We'll come back to this. So this is HTTP basics requests in a browser. So this will be cool. We'll get to use the GUI. I imagine we're going to be doing the network here, right? We'll be using this. This was fun. Hope you guys had fun. We'll just hang out for a minute. Let me swap over. What are you guys up to? You guys having a good night? We're at 34 viewers. I've been glancing at the viewers, and it's gone up to like 41, and then they're like, this guy's staring at a terminal, and it goes back down to like 29, and then yeah. So I think I'm gonna make a really quick video just answering someone's question, and then upload that. Since I did 2 streams, I had to do 2 videos, and then back tomorrow again for the morning stream. Link allowed. Yeah, if you post the link, I can approve it, I think. What's the link? Yeah, I don't see any link. Documentation. What? I mean, post the link. So I'm thinking about doing some game dev here pretty soon. I'm gonna see what else Treehouse has here. Are you still looking at people's resumes? Yeah, of course. We're doing that every Saturday. 100%. Maybe I should like try out a tech degree. That'd be fun. It says remove any web addresses. We'll just spell it out. Just be like website.com. Yeah, so I think we're just going to hit up that Flask. I mean, it sounds kind of fun. I've never done it. I see it on Stack Overflow quite a bit. People always ask me about Django and Flask, so I'd really like to have like a deep dive into it. What? How does this work? King, what's up? So it's a $1 push-up. I got you, fam. I'm gonna hit you with the double value today. I just feel like doing push-ups, so. All right. Has anyone done the tech degree? You looked at the curriculum. It looks like normal content. So the tech degree is curated, right? It's the normal content, but it's curated so that you have to, you have to submit the projects are separate from the content. The way you learn is from the regular content, but the projects are separated from it. So far, so good. You'll enjoy it. Hey, thanks. I hope so. I hope to stream it, right? But we got to make it through this HTTP stuff. So it's all fun. I'm all learning. Like today, I learned how to do telnet requests. Didn't know how to do that yesterday, so that was cool. You should do a one-on-one. Like the Rails of Python. Yeah. Hey, man, double value. Woo! All right, let me hit you within 5. I got you. Dogs, you want to do some push-ups with me? You guys doing push-ups? All right, let's do push-ups. Sue, we doing push-ups, right? Come here. Sue. Come here. Sue. Come here. All right, we're doing push-ups. We're doing push-ups. You ready? We got 1. We got 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. They don't want to do push-ups. They're not interested. All right. At least I can count push-ups. I may not be able to count characters on a screen, but I can count push-ups. Thanks, King. That's awesome, man. Appreciate you. Thanks for supporting the stream, for real. The dog said no. It looks like they want to go outside, right? But the back door's open, so they're free to go outside. They're just bored. Here. We'll get the white one. Come here. Hey, buddy, come here. Come here. No, not you. You're so jealous. Come here. Come here, fam. No. Come here. We're just hanging out for a minute, so it's all good. All right, we here. He's gonna take over as the host. He's kind of shy. You gonna say anything, buddy? Okay. He likes scratches. He's a half husky and half American Eskimo. So he's really fluffy. They want to go outside with the condition that I go with him. They want to go on their walk. So that's what they really want. They know about this time of night I take them on a run or a walk, but I'm taking a break from a run, so they just want to go on their nightly walk. What do I think? All right, let's see. Technologist hits me with the question. What do you think people could do at home to match Coding Bootcamp curriculum? Coding Bootcamp curriculum. I mean, you can see the curriculum of Code Bootcamps, right? Like, you can go to any Code Bootcamp and look at their curriculum, and then you just follow. Like, just follow what they're doing. The question is, do you have the rigor to be able to do that, right? The what's the word I'm looking for? The attitude, the diligence to hold yourself accountable. That's the real question. But to match the bootcamp, Udemy is good, Treehouse is good. There's a whole bunch of places, Free Code Camp, maybe Code School. I mean, depends on what you want. He's pretty vocal. He actually doesn't like being held. But I think because he's been on the stream, I think he's starting to like the attention a little bit. So he's not fighting me as much. Like, he's just, if we look, you can see he's just chilling down here. He's just chilling. Oh, it's a person. What's up? It's some lady just walking, staring in my room. Nice. Come here, buddy. He's pretty chill. All right, let's do some more questions here. Hit me with them cues for, like, I don't know, 10 more minutes. You've done multiple online Python courses. We don't feel understand where to start a project and actually use what you learn. Just make a basic web app, right? So just do a model view controller app. Try to set up a database. If you want project ideas, right? So just make a web app and you want project ideas. There's a whole bunch of websites. You can literally just type in, like, web app ideas on Google and you'll find a whole bunch. Bro, where you going? Bruh. All right. Move the mic. There we go. What'd you see? Go look out the window. Dude, I wish we could, like, go hang out. If you guys want to go, like, rock climb. I don't know if any of you guys are in Salt Lake, but, like, let's go climb some rocks. Climb some walls. I think they want to go on their walk. You've only learned basic concepts, but you don't know how to do a database, etc. Okay, so Basic concepts. So I imagine you're still like in the terminal phase of like learning how to do collections and lists and all that stuff, which is not going to be very useful. You're going to be like, when would I use this? When would I, like, it's like the same thing with JavaScript stuff, which is why every course starts with HTML and CSS, because it's visual. Oh, I can make a web page. Oh, I could see how this works, but none of my buttons work, and I can't sign in. And then you start realizing how limited that is, and then it's like, oh wait, we got JavaScript. But it's the same thing with Python, right? You're going to be stuck in the console. You're not going to really know what to do with it. Treehouse Flash Track does a Twitter clone with SQLite. I think SQLite comes with Rails too. You know what I tried? I tried to find a visual, like a software that I could visually see SQLite for Rails, and I could never figure out how I could visually see my table unless I went to like the terminal and I was like users.all, right? I want to like, you know, like the pancakes that you have on Mac. Was it SQL Pro? I want something like that for Windows. You're going to develop your own home bootcamp based upon the courses you have, which is a lot of courses. Did you get stuck in the Udemy? Did you get caught up in the Udemy sales? Because joke's on you, Udemy's always on sale. I think the $200 per course pricing is for enterprise. Like, I think corporations are really like iffy on what they do. Like, they're pretty sketchy, you know. They're like, oh, I don't want to just buy one. Have you used MongoDB? I've never done MongoDB. I mean, I know what it is. Like, I know the differences between SQL and Mongo, but I've never like used it. Look, they're on guard. This is what they do. They just stare at my window. He's like a little person. He just guards. So with that being said, where do you recommend? So you need to figure out something. Okay, try to find a way to integrate it. So I don't know if you're on like Python. Let me look. Are you on Treehouse? Like Python and Treehouse is what I meant. You need to figure out a way to make something visual with it. Truth or dope. Like you need to figure out a way to have it be something tangible that you can see besides like, I created a grocery list that tells me the average of what stuff is going to cost. Like, I don't know. You need to figure out, make something tangible that's kind of fun. But with Python in the terminal, it can be difficult up front. They're super protective. If you guys go on my Instagram, I don't ever show my girlfriend in videos that I put on YouTube, but you can see my girlfriend on Instagram. They're like super protective of her. If I pretend like, if I pick my girlfriend up and I just like carry her around, she's like super protective. She'll like, you know, she goes into like police dog mode. Basic Python concepts. Okay. Yeah, I mean, just keep working on it. I would recommend diving into Flask. You don't actually have to do this HTTP stuff that we're doing to get into Flask. At least I don't think that you would. Because you're going to be using Ajax most likely. I have no idea. Zach, tell me if I'm wrong. But I imagine that you could get most of what you need. You're trying to mess around with the Tkinter. Maybe you'll look into that. Okay. Programming a Discord bot? I mean, yeah, you could do that. I think that's a little complicated. Maybe for like an absolute beginner. Have you done August-based mod? I've never done that. I don't know what that is. I'd have to research what that is. Let's time to hit the Google. August-based model systems. Oh, model-based systems engineering. Systems engineering, domain models. Oh man. It's quite easy for a beginner. Is it kind of just like, here's everything? Is it like a boilerplate and you just fill in the Python with what you want? suggestion or oggestion. I'm assuming suggestion-based models. I've never done it, right? I haven't dove into the machine learning yet. If I look here on, let me look on Treehouse. I noticed that when I went to the library, there was a few machine learning courses. Machine learning, you guys can see. Yeah, machine learning basics. So I imagine this is pretty visual. Oh, machine learning using Python and scikit-learn. What do we make here? Writing a classifier. Common machine learning. Which is Python, okay. 5 steps. Writing a classifier. Okay, so they do have like they're growing. They're growing the machine learning stuff. So we can do that. Yo, Kenneth Love is tough. I remember he jumped into one of these streams. Actually, everyone that I've done, like I've done all the Python courses so far, and both teachers have jumped in here. Both times they're like, yo, keep it up. And I'm like, what? Is this the real Kenneth Love? Yeah, it's very mathematical. Machine learning is really mathematical. In fact, at Lambda School, I think their entrance exam like has you doing like derivatives, like basic calculus 1 derivatives, just to get in. And it's like I remember the rule, right? X to the n minus 1, and then you subtract 1 from the exponent and move that down in front. But if it's a constant, you have to drop that number and it just becomes the variable. And if it's just the variable, it nullifies. Like that's basic calculus 1, just for like basic machine learning. Also, I'm going to be doing subscriber games Sundays. If you guys want to play some games with me on Twitch, there's no like whoever just wants to join, we'll play together. We'll play whatever, Overwatch, Fortnite, pub, whatever. But I tried to do it last Sunday on YouTube, and everyone was like, what is this? What the hell is this, Josh? You are a programming channel. You don't play games, okay? All we do is code. And I'm like, okay, well, time to take this back to Twitch. Although mathematics, yeah, I mean, math is interesting. It's not like I don't like it. Black Desert Online. Oh, man. Black Desert is like ultimate grind. I've seen people stream it. Yeah, I know. I see it on Steam. It's like $6, $10, something like that. Someone just messaged me. Hey, man, I'm a developer in Salt Lake City. Also, went to a boot camp. I want to ask about your experience. What boot camp did you went to? What? You do not actually have to do all the calculus, but yeah, you get it. I mean, yeah, you don't, right? But calculus 1's not that hard. Calculus 2, all right, we're pushing limits. You guys, only the math people will get that one, pushing limits. Anyways. Yeah, I'm gonna link the Twitch if you guys are interested, by the way. And then I'm gonna take my dogs on a walk. And I appreciate you guys for hanging out. Give me a few precious moments of your Wednesday night. That's my Twitch channel. We can play some whatever. I probably already have all the games. I don't have any MMO RPGs because it's just too much of a time sink, and I can't. I gotta make videos, right? That's my job. I want to, like, I like to play the Skinner box type games, but like, for example, Diablo 3, right? It's like kill stuff to get better stuff so that you can kill stuff faster so that you can get better stuff to kill stuff even faster. And that's just an infinite loop. Like, I know it's the same in Gear Treadmill and WoW, right? But like, at least there's PvP and stuff, you know what I mean? But anyways, I'm out, my dudes. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for supporting the channel. Thanks for supporting the stream. You guys are the best. Just leave a thumbs up when you check out, and you know, I'll see you guys in the morning. And look out for that video tonight. So, have a good night, guys.